What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing good. We're back with another one. Today we're doing another sit down video. I've been trying to incorporate these just to talk to you guys, to give you guys more information, especially because I am trying to not only just grow my subscribers and grow my my following, but I'm just trying to grow my community and inform you and offer my help that if you want to work with me, hopefully you will. I mean, I initially started this YouTube channel to be an influencer, a YouTuber, but if it happens, it happens. Great. Holla at your girl. But I'm also here just because I became a realtor, and you guys kind of have been following me on that journey. And even when I was moving here from Florida, you guys had kind of followed and you liked the videos that I would talk about when it comes to living in Arizona and buying a house in Arizona. I showed you my experiences firsthand. And so now that I'm a realtor, I can give you the more professional opinion about it. I can offer more insight. I can give you really just more fact. And so you also have my experience personally and professionally. And hopefully that makes you want to work with me. But even still, even if you're not living in Arizona and you follow me, I hope that you truly enjoy these videos and make some kind of connection. But these sit down videos are specifically for those who are genuinely thinking about moving here to Arizona, or if you already live here, it's just for you to consume and be educated. So let's talk about the truth about living in Phoenix. I got some notes, so bear with me because I wanted to make sure that I'm giving you everything that I can. So let's start with location. I love living in Phoenix. I say I live in the metro area because I live in just south of Phoenix, like 30 minutes south, which is in Maricopa. I love living in the valley in Arizona in general. I do miss Florida. I don't miss Jacksonville per se. I just miss Florida and the beaches and the salty seawater and the humidity. I do miss the humidity and just dry, but we'll get to that. But I love living here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, mainly because of location. It is 5 to 6 hours away from LA. I'll just say 6 because you're gonna run into traffic. And we actually just went, if you saw my Disney vlog, we went to Anaheim. But 6 hours to LA, another major city that offers a lot, but it's not too far for a weekend trip. It's also not too far if you wanted to take a vacation to a beach, like I mentioned. It's about 4 hours away from Mexico. There's a spot called Rocky Point or Pensacano, Sonora Pensacano. Generally, you'll hear a lot of people call it Rocky Point. People drive down there all the time and go. So it's kind of nice that you can take like a weekend trip down to Mexico. You know what? I'm not even going to say it because I don't know if it's still true or not. But at one point you didn't need a passport to get through that part of Mexico. But I don't know if that's still the same. So it's also nice that you have, the central. Oh, and it's only about 2 hours away from Vegas. 2-3 hours maybe away from Vegas. So again, it's like the central location for all these West Coast like cities and areas, and you don't have to pay for flights. And not only that, you can also have staycations. There are so many luxury resorts that you can stay at. I've been wanting to stay at a few myself. They're nice. And each resort has like spas and these beautiful pools and these mountain views. Again, I haven't stayed in any yet in the 6 years that I've been here, but that's kind of on my bucket list this year to do more staycations if I'm not going on vacation. But that's one of the perks of Phoenix. And Phoenix itself is becoming a growing city, like the actual Phoenix. If you've ever been downtown, it's beautiful. We just had the Super Bowl back in 2023. So last February, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We did so much. We went to the Super Bowl experience. The kids enjoyed it. So it was truly an experience to be able to live in a bigger city that has so much to offer and that is still continuing to grow. A lot of people want to live here because of the weather, and we'll get to that, but it is truly a nice location if you are moving to the West Coast from the East Coast. All right, another truth about living in Phoenix is the food. Listen, I had just started getting into brunch when I was in Florida, but when I moved out here, there's so many brunch restaurants. There's so many restaurants. Oh my gosh, there's like a few foodie bloggers that I follow on Instagram, and I mean, when I tell you there's just so many places to eat, I can't keep up. I try to follow them so I can try them, but oh my gosh, you got great Mexican food, fun sushi spots. You just have a plethora of different culture restaurants. There's Jamaican food. I don't know, there's just so much. So much. There's brunch, there is barbecue, there's southwestern food, and there's always restaurants being open. I mean, like cute cafes, just so much. So you do have like, it's just not boring. It's not all that chain stuff. Like, you could come here, stay here a few days, and really feel like you're on vacation, because there's a plethora of like restaurants to visit, and you don't have to feel like, oh, I just gotta eat the same old stuff. Like, when I go on vacation, I do not want to eat whatever I have at home. So if there is a Texas Roadhouse, I don't want to eat that. I want to go somewhere different. So I do like that. And I mean, if you live here, you just always have options. I mean, I have been here for 7 years going on, 6 years, and I have not tried, I haven't even scratched the surface with it when it comes to restaurants. Like, I can't even tell you, like, there's so many that I keep and follow. There's also lovely rooftop bars and views that we've been to, perfect for date night. So that's what I love. Like, you can go into the city, but then you can go back home into the suburbs, and it's just amazing. Some of my favorite restaurants would be Hash Kitchen, Snooze. There is the Blue Wasabi, Harumi Sushi. Those are just a few of my, oh, we have one called Say Sushi. It's not in Phoenix, but it's down where I live. So good. Yeah, so those are a few of my favorites. But again, I haven't even like scratched the surface, so there's just so many more that I want to try. So let's get into a little bit more of the real estate side of things. There are so many different neighborhoods and metro cities. I keep saying metro because I really don't know like what people call it, but when I was in Kentucky and Louisville, we had like Louisville Metro because Louisville was the main city, and then you had like these sub-cities, even though like it was under one county, and here it's under one county, Maricopa County, but you also have a few, there's a Pinal County, so they have a few cities, but it's still, to me, like, when I tell people, when people ask, oh, you live in Phoenix, you live in Arizona, and I just say, yeah, Phoenix, because while the city that my mail goes to is not actually Phoenix, people wouldn't know Maricopa, people wouldn't know Santan Valley, they wouldn't know Mesa. I didn't know Mesa. I didn't even know that was a part of Phoenix. So you have different neighborhoods. You have Scottsdale, Chandler, Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert, Queen Creek, and then that was the east. Then you have the west, Glendale, Goodyear, Buckeye, Surprise, Peoria. Then you have North Phoenix, South Phoenix, Ahwatukee, Levine. Like, you just have all these sub-cities, metro cities around, which is nice because they offer different levels of affordability and livability. Like, it's just different vibes. And back to Phoenix being a growing city, the East Valley, or West Valley, has a lot going on out there. We have a Mattel Park coming out. They have Sugar Factory. They have the stadium, the Cardinal Stadium. They have this huge new resort that's coming next. It was supposed to open this year, but I think it said it's opening next year, and it's connected to the Mattel Park. Well, Mattel is known for Hot Wheels, Barbie. It's supposed to be this huge, grand amusement park. Lots of money coming into this state, in this city in particular. So that's one of the huge reasons why, you know, it's worth living here, because there's just so much coming here. But each neighborhood, each city offers its different vibe. And like I said, if you can live in a more rural city, but then just drive, 30-40 minutes into the actual city. So it's kind of nice. Not kind of, it is nice. It is nice to have that. And that is kind of a great segue into my next segment, which is sports. Phoenix is a major city, so we have the Arizona D-backs, which is baseball, Major League Baseball. We have the Phoenix Suns, and then we have the Arizona Cardinals, centrally located, play here. Like I said, the stadium is in Glendale for the Arizona Cardinals. Phoenix Sun play right downtown. I don't know where the D-backs play, but we have them. It's a state. It's a state that has sports, major league sports, which is nice because there's so many opportunities with that. Since you have that, we have like nice colleges like ASU. My brother-in-law is currently right now at a camp for ASU, and you get more opportunities for your kids in high school. He's only in high school, but he's already got college recruiters looking at him because you move from a state, a place that maybe you can get some opportunity, but you got to fight 10 times harder. He moved out here and there's just so much training opportunities. Like I said, different colleges, opportunities galore. I mean, you can literally be in a restaurant and see one of the major league players. So it's just nice that you have that. And you can go to the games. It's something to do. Something new. My husband goes to the Phoenix Sun games all the time, like all the time. So it's just something to do. It's nice that you have that. We did have that, well, we didn't have basketball in Jacksonville. We just had the Jaguars, the football team. But again, when you have major league sports, you have money coming into the city, and more businesses are attracted here. Lots of job opportunities as well. We have Frito-Lay, Lucid, which is kind of like Tesla. So many Amazon jobs out here. Just so much. And I like that it's spread across the valley because, like I said, when you're picking a neighborhood, you can kind of go from there on like, okay, what's out here? How far is this to work? Is this close enough? So perfect. So my next point is weather. I kind of touched on it earlier, weather. This one's a tricky one because we don't really have weather. And I say that because I used to work in the news. You guys know that. And when I worked in Florida, a weather event would be like a hurricane or torrential rain or, some kind of thunderstorm, which I do miss so much. I don't miss the hurricanes, but I do miss the rain. Out here, okay. So you have you have summer. Everybody knows Arizona summers, well, specifically Phoenix summers are brutal. Can be brutal. Like today alone, and it's cloudy. Today it is 105 and it's cloudy. So we're in an excessive heat warning. Just 2 days ago it reached up to 109. My microphone died, so back to what I was trying to tell you guys about weather. It's hot. Basically, it stays hot until like October. People come here still for weather. We got a lot of snowbirds, kind of like Florida, where people come for the winter, leave in the summer. So that's always an option, especially if you are older. I have sold a few snowbirds from home, so it's kind of nice because they get excited and it's perfect, especially if you have grandparents and you want them to move out here. They can have a home here for the winter and then leave and go back home for the summer. Okay, so let's dive into some pros of owning real estate here. I mean, it's general across the board. You either want to be a homeowner or you don't, and you believe in that or you don't. To me, being a homeowner means I'm building wealth for my family, securing my family's future when I am long gone, because I know that should something happen to me or my husband, especially with Luna being an only child, she has a home. She has a roof over her head. She has a house that will be hers. That's what owning a home means. Not only that, if she decides she doesn't want to live here, she can rent it out. We can rent it out. We can rent it out to build, as we build equity, because I bought my house, as you guys know, back in 2020, at the end of the well, not at the end, but at the end of the year, during the pandemic, when rates were still well below what they are right now. So therefore, my payment is a lot less than if I was to buy this house today, what it would have been. Also, my loan amount is a lot less. My loan, I built equity. What I bought it for has almost doubled. That's why owning a home is important to me, because it's just so much more than just saying I'm a homeowner. It's saying I have, I don't know, if I want to pull out some cash, from my equity, I can, and I can redo my house. I can just have the cash. I can do my backyard. I can do things. It's security. So the pros of owning here in particular, appreciation off top. Now, granted, if you bought your house like last year or maybe the year before, it might be a little bit hard right now just because interest rates are so crazy, inflation is so high. So it's not negative, but it's just not appreciating like it was, you know, from 2020 to 2021, and really from 2020 to now, like the last 4 years. So it does take time, just because that's just how appreciation works. So you definitely are almost guaranteed appreciation. A lot of people will say, okay, well, I can just rent, it'll be cheaper because interest rates are so high, and blah, 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 blah about interest rates. That's true. You could just rent, let somebody else take care of the lawn, the, you know, maintenance of the home. But if you rent, are you really building equity? Can you pull out money? Can you refinance? I mean, it's going to take some time for rates to go down. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, date the rate, buy the house, marry the house, whatever. I mean, listen, things change, and you really don't know when rates will come down. Don't live by the whole date the rate thing, because you just don't know, right? I have a family that I helped them buy their house at the end of 2022. By spring of 2023, they were already telling me that they may have to, you know, sell it, try to rent it out, because the husband lost his job and he was the one who paid for it. Things like that could happen, and then you stuck, and then you can't really, you can't really make any money off the home. So yes, rates are high, and yes, you know, renting could be more affordable right now for you. But okay, you could buy a house that will cost you, I don't know, $2,100 monthly. I'm talking a 4-bedroom house with a backyard, a home that's yours, that you can customize, you can paint, you can change the flooring, you can, you know, do whatever to it because it's yours. Would you buy it if it's the same? If your rent is $2,100 a month, you cannot customize the home. You may not even have a backyard, because some apartments are going for $2,100. Shoot, some apartments are going for $2,000, $1,900. And there's an apartment for 2 bedrooms for this less than 1,000 square foot home. You're not building any equity. You're not able to customize it. And you're at the will of the landlord, you know, because this year your rent might be $2,100, but when it comes time to renew the lease, it might go up to $2,300. You're locked in a rate, it's always going to be $2,100, because it only changes unless you buy a home with a 2-1 buy down, or if you decide to refinance. That's the only time it changes. So to me, that's the pros. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's money for you. It's yours. Like I said, kids have a place. You know, houses get passed down. Obviously, the market is nowhere near like it used to be when, shoot, our grandparents bought houses, right? But they were homeowners, and they are able to pass those houses down generations. So why would you pass that up and not pass down? You can't pass apartment down to your kids, especially if you have a family. It's stability. It offers so much. Again, and you have location. Now, again, I'm a realtor here in Arizona, so I'm specifically talking about the Phoenix, Arizona area. This is the pros for me living here. The location is a plus. You have, you know, like I said, sports, so much coming here. Economy is a plus, because also you have all these businesses coming, like I named the Mattel, the new hotels popping up, restaurants popping up. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs here. I've seen more entrepreneurs here, living here, than I ever have before living somewhere else. And I've lived in 2 other states. Okay, let's talk about some other things outside of real estate. We'll get back to real estate in just a moment, but what is it like? Traffic. So to me, I can easily compare Phoenix traffic to freaking LA traffic. It's not as bad, because LA traffic to me is like traffic all the time. Traffic here is horrible, mainly through Monday through Friday. Lord forbid they shut down a highway, a main highway like I-10 or the 60 or the 202 or the 17, and then you can't get anywhere. It's a big city, so you're going to run into traffic, you're going to run into lots of delays, so that's something you have to prepare for if you're living, you know, especially within the metro city, and depending on if you're living on the outskirts of the city like I do, because there is most of the time just that one way in out kind of situation, especially if you're going towards the city to go to work. So back to real estate, I'm actually want to get into the cons, and I had wrote down cost of living, but I put that as a con to real estate. The cost of living here is higher than at least where I'm from, the East Coast, from Louisville, even from Florida, it's a lot higher. It's crazy to me that even as a realtor, because at the end of the day, I'm still a human a human being. And when I bought my house, you know, I bought it for, like I said, $225 in 2020, and it is just under 1,900 square foot, so 1880, something like that, 1850, something like that. And now, if you go out, I mean, even here in Maricopa, the house could easily, without a pool, run you $350. Maybe that's just above, a little bit above, but between $320 and $350. And then when you go out a little further and you get into these more desirable areas, and I'm talking like Chandler, Mesa, Gilbert, Scottsdale, the same size, actually sometimes smaller house, I'm talking 15, 16, 1,700 square foot, upwards of $420,000 to $500,000 range. Now, you could have told me that a $500,000 house would be this glamorous house, huge, like huge. Maybe like my parents. My parents have a huge house. They have a 3,800 square foot house. To me, that's $500,000. But now, if you were moving here now and you wanted to live in any of those areas, you're paying $500 plus, $400 plus $1,000. So that alone is a lot, and as a con to me, that house prices are so crazy, and Phoenix was like on the top 10 or 20 list for certain areas, like Scottsdale, I think doubled within the last 5 years on house prices. So that's just wild, which is what I was talking about with appreciation. So it's like you do get the appreciation, but at the cost of living. So you do have that as a con if you're moving from somewhere else to Arizona. But that is also something, if you already live in Arizona, that you have to take into consideration, because when you're buying a home, it has to be affordable. You can't be house poor. You got to be able to afford the mortgage. You also have to be able to afford the bills, afford feeding your family. So those things are super important when, you know, if you're already struggling, you know, and you're renting a home, I mean, you have to take that in consideration if you decide you want to buy a home. And then lastly, the people. Overall, a lot of the people here have come from different states, so it's funny because you just have so many people from different backgrounds, and it's kind of nice because you get to experience different cultures. It is still taking some getting used to, because I'm from the South. Everybody's got Southern hospitality, but here it can be a little bit like, depending on where they're from. Like, you can get some really nice people, genuine people. I've worked with some amazing people, made some amazing friends out of clients. And then there's some that I'm like, I'll never work with you again because it's just not what I'm used to. I'm not used to people being so rude or just cutthroat. And so it just depends. There's no, like, to me, because everybody's from different areas, it's hard to really pinpoint like nicer cities as far as people go. It's just kind of one of those things where you gotta figure it out as you go. We got lucky. We made friends with one of our neighbors. We made friends with them. But yeah, here, I don't know. It's hard to read people, because even as a professional, there are some things that are mind-blowing to me that some people do in a profession or in a professional setting. I'm just like, what? Like, why would you do that? That's so unprofessional. I get ghosted a lot more than I'd like to admit. And that's weird to me, because it's like, okay, it's fine if you want to, like, don't want to work with me. I don't take offense to that. I try to ask people, what was it that I could have done better? Or was it something I did? Or did you just change your mind? People ghost me. And then I'm just like, you didn't take into consideration all the time I spent with you, helping you. I don't know. People are different here. But that's because everybody comes from a different background. So that's all I have. That's the truth about living in Phoenix. You have so many opportunities, so many opportunities. So it's definitely something to take into consideration if you're moving to Phoenix. If you already live in Phoenix, there's so much more to learn, to do. And if you have questions about buying or selling your home, then, you know, reach out to me. I was a Phoenix home buyer. I was a first-time home buyer in Phoenix, not even from here. So I definitely know that it can be a scary thing, and that it can be kind of intimidating, especially if you think that you can't buy a house. If you want to, comment below, or I'll have my information where you can contact me in the description. I will have my email. You can email me and just say you found me on YouTube, you want to work with me, and we'll go from there. We'll get a plan in place. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informational. I tried to play off a little bit of my Living in Arizona series that I started way back when, I think back in 2020, when I was adjusting and buying my own house and all that good stuff. So I hope that this is a more updated, giving you a more realistic approach to living here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next vlog.